Okay, I'm very pleased to welcome you all to this very special session that we have today with Arvind Lokare. Arvind is a leadership coach with about 25 years of experience across sectors, working in management, sales, and HR. He has a PCC credential and over 1,200 hours of coaching completed. So his coaching practice is really vast and it extends across for-profit and not-for-profit categories. Arvind works very closely using psychometrics and 360. He's built up a lot of expertise on tools like the Hogan and Pyrobi and so on. And he has done a very deep dive study of Hogan and its various nuances and intricacies and prepared this entire very outstanding and rich framework, which he is so generously going to share with us today. He's a very well-known member of the ICF Mumbai Chapter. We take great pride in that. And in his session today, Arvind is going to share with us some of the specific nuances of working with the Hogan reports. So this session is most beneficial for those of us who have been using Hogan or have even begun using Hogan and definitely want to get more out of it and tie it in better with our coaching practice and sessions. We will take specific questions related to each module as we go on. So please keep putting your questions in the chat box. And we'll take all the general questions at the end and we'll open it up for questions. We will be issuing 1.5 RD units for those of you who are interested in the CCUs. I'll try and post a claim form towards the end, or we'll just pick up the names from the Zoom attendance sheet, but more on that later. All right, I will hand it over to Arvind now. Arvind, thanks a ton in advance and all yours now.
Okay, so good evening and thanks so much and thanks Tushima. I haven't made a presentation like this in a while, so I have forgotten all the shortcuts. So thanks for helping me revise it. I felt almost like back to corporate when I was making the presentation. Okay, so as Tushima said, this session is going to be useful mostly for Hogan people. But if you're attending for the RDs, then please welcome. I will put the Hogan preparation in context of the Hogan of my process of coaching. So I'm going to share something that is what I do. Not to say that is the right thing to do. I'm sure all of you are successful coaches and you would have your own process that you're following, and wherever you can find something which is worthwhile, do take notes. I'm not going to share the presentation. Whatever had to be given, I've already asked Tushima to circulate it before. So you would have 2 flash reports, or you can you see that?
Just about.
Yes, Arvind, we have it with us.
So you have a flash report and you have the subscale report also. Both the reports you should be having.
Yes.
Okay, great, very good. So Tushima, how do I get to my screen of working with Hogan? Oops.
Yeah, we are looking at your screen.
You are looking at the working with Hogan screen?
Yes, yes.
Great, very good,
yeah,
very good.
Yeah.
Oh, so you can see me as well as the screen?
Yes, yes.
Oh, wow, okay. Okay, so Tushima has finished this first page. So if there's anybody who wants any information about who I am, what I do, other than these boring details, I love singing, I like theater, I love the stock market, I do a lot of reading, and I help my wife in her business. I'm a fun guy. Okay, so I will just take you through the suggested process of coaching, and for some reason this top thing is going, and 1 second, I'll just share my screen. Okay, so to put the whole thing in context, I will let you know the suggested coaching process that possibly I follow. Okay, so what I do is as follows. So week 1, month 1, client brief, understand the initiative, negotiate, close the commercials. Then I probably send a concept note to all the leaders to tell them that, this is what coaching is about. Month 1, week 2 to week 4, there's a free diagnostic that I do, and there is a leader coach compatibility that I do using a diagnostic question checklist that I have. Then we take a go, no-go decision. And then in case the final list of leaders is set by the organization, saying these are the guys who are going to get and join into coaching, then I send them a Hogan and a 360-degree feedback to all their stakeholders. So Hogan is fairly simple. It takes about maybe 3 days, 4 days for them to fill it up. But 360-degree with 5 stakeholders, 6 stakeholders takes a long time. Okay. I not only ask people to fill in a form, I also call them up after that to understand what the form is and then collate the whole thing. Then I prepare, my preparation for Hogan starts, and that is what we will be discussing today in this webinar. Okay. I share the Hogan report with the leader 2 to 3 days before the first connect. Then we go to month 2. We have the first and the second connect where the leader fills up the 360-degree before the Hogan session. And seeing the Hogan report so that we know what the leader really wants to do himself or herself. The leader coach connects with Hogan starts. The 360-degree is shared. We check the leader's agenda. We identify next steps, make IDP if required. Month 3, we clarify issues and with the IDP, and we go through session 3, 4, 5 connects, handling whatever are the IDP issues that they want to do, whatever they have practiced, whatever issues are burning and top of mind. In this particular slide, we will touch the how best you can use Hogan during the connect. What could you do and what could you not do? Okay. Then we are in month 4 to 7, 3rd to 5th connect. All the connects are over. And, I seek in month 8 stakeholder inputs on the observed IDP progress in case the client has money to afford it, and then probably feed it back. I also take feedback from the leader about how the leader feels about the coaching, what are the things that worked, what are the things that are effective, and so on and so forth. And of course, there's a last connect where we close up and how does the leader self-manage. In this particular slide, there are 2 aspects that we will cover in today's session. How could you best, share the learnings of the coaching initiative as we are starting the entire initiative and at the end of the initiative. Cool. So this is the entire coaching process. And these are the 4 or 5 areas that we will be covering, which are very, very specific to Hogan. Can I move ahead? Any questions, Amlesh? Nothing. Okay, I can't.
Not as yet.
Okay, cool. So I'll move ahead. So we'll begin with the coach preparation and how the coach prepares for the Hogan input. Okay. So I use the Insight report. That's a very good report. It gives you all the 3 reports and it will give you a flash report. It's a small summary. It's a big ton of papers. It's a simple kind of a report. Okay. The intent really is to build as much understanding of Hogan as possible. My belief is if I'm sitting in front of a leader, I'm supposed to be the expert on Hogan. So my preparation of Hogan will build a lot of trust. And once trust is built through the initial feedback session, then the coaching just happens like easy. There's no problem because there's so much of trust and the leader is vulnerable and issues start coming up, directions start setting up, IDPs are made, everything happens without any problem. So the basic intent is really to get as much understanding because we are supposed to be the Hogan expert. So let's look at the coach preparation. And just for to refresh some of you who may not have used Hogan recently, Hogan has 3 reports. Okay, if some of you have forgotten, I'm sure you haven't, but there is an HPI and an HDS and an MVPI. The 3 reports are there. The first report is called the bright side report or the reputation report. The second report is called the dark side report. The third report, MVPI, is what drives you to do what you do. Okay. For me, the anchor is really the flash report. So I use the flash report, not the entire report. I will look at the flash and then work on the flash report. So for me, the flash report is very important. I first begin with the MVPI, go on to HPI, and then go on to the Hogan HDS. That's the process that I follow. Okay. Amlesh, stop me if there's any question. Okay. Okay. So now
I will, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, coach preparation. I just want to share with you the kind of resources I use when I'm making my my preparation. There are many documents given by Hogan, and you just have to dig in and get. So there is, of course, the cheat sheet. Then there is an HDS improving the derailer sheet, which gives you details of the SDS. There's an MVPI subscale interpretation book. There's a Hogan guide, which is a fat book guide published in 2007. I don't think they have a new edition for that. Then, of course, there's an HPI guide. Now, all these HPI, MVPI, HDS is all there in the cheat sheet. But cheat sheet is really a cheat sheet. It's like a farra. It's like a 1-page, 2-page kind of a thing. If you want to go slightly detailed, use these 3. Okay. Finally, I bought a book called Coaching the Dark Side of the Personality. This is written by Trish Kellett. Trish Kellett is one of the Hogan board members. And Trish was here in 2017, and I bought the book from her. Yeah, Amlesh, one sec. I'll come. This book is for about 5,000 rupees, and you can get it from Hogan. You can buy the book from Hogan. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reports that I use in addition to the flash reports. So I'll have all this in front of me when I'm making my preparation. Yes, Amlesh.
One of the first one that has come across is that any particular reason for the HDS, HPI, and MVPI flow for the preparation. That is one. And something related is that which one of these are called an insight report?
Oh, so the insight report is an insight report which has all the 3 reports.
Okay.
And Hogan has various types of report. Okay. So it's like Hogan has this this body of knowledge. अभी उसको बेचना है ना, तो एक insight report है, एक executive report है, executive suite है. Executive suite will be 26,000. Insight report is 12,000. There's another reports which are singular reports which are 4,000 each. So they will have different kinds of reports packaged differently. I found the insight report to be the best report. It's 12,500 plus taxes. It gives you flash. It gives you all the 3 reports. Okay, that was one question about what is insight. The other is that I start with MVPI first. Then I go to HPI, and then I go to HDS. Why do I prepare MVPI first? Because that tells me what drives the person. You know, what internally drives the person is what MVPI will tell you. A reputation report is like you going to office. You will dress up. Like I'm coming here, I wore this very beautiful shirt, which Tushima also commented on, and we discussed where to buy, how to buy accents. So I'm like powdered. So that is what reputation is, right? It's bright side. So that is the face that you show to the public. And of course, when there is stress and all, there is an HDS that crops up, right? So I begin with the MVPI, and I also begin the debrief with the MVPI, because that makes me connect with the leader at a different level. We are not talking about work. We're not talking about anything. We're talking about what really drives the leader. That's the reason. Cool. Anything else?
Yeah. There is one more which is related. So what is the difference between flash and other reports?
Flash is a summary. Okay, boss. This is the flash report. It's a 2-page report. It's a summary. The insight report will have HPI, 1 page for adjustment, 1 page for ambition, 1 page for sociability, 1 page for and so on and so forth. So it's an 11-page, 9-page HPI report. Then there is a 10-page, 11-page HDS report. Then there's a 10 or 11-page preferences report. Then there is a 1-page flash report for the entire thing, which is here this, and there's one page on this. So all this put together is called the insight report. If you buy the Hogan suite, then it is 24,000. It will give you how to coach, how to do development plan, and extra, etc., etc., which I have found I can never use. You know, I think I should charge Hogan.
Yes, you should.
Okay, done, sir. Shall we go ahead?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we are done like this. We have looked at all the resources. Now we'll come to coach preparation, and we'll start making the notes. We start with MVPI, then HPI, then HDS. And the first and foremost is, since I am not basing my report on what Hogan gives only, but I'm looking at so many resources, I first read what the Hogan Insight report says. So there is a summary before every report. HPI has a summary, MVPI has a summary, HDS has a summary. So I read the summary so that when I'm making my notes, I don't contradict. And if I contradict, I know what I'm contradicting and why. You know, sometimes the language that these guys use is very, very direct, and it can be a little, what do I say, too much in the face. So when I am debriefing, I like to debrief because my objective is developmental. Okay, so but I read the summary so that I don't make a notes which are contrary to what they have written. It will not be, but one must go through it because that is the report that will be with them. Okay. The second is, so now let me give you some tips for MVPI. All of you must be doing it. First of all, you must know what the 5 themes are. Okay. What does lifestyle mean? What is belief? What is occupational preferences? What is aversion? And what is preferred associates? You must be very clear. I mean, sometimes when the person says, oh, what is this? Then, you should have it handy. Otherwise, it doesn't give a very professional approach. The second is, you should be aware of what the 4 subscales are. Okay. Status interest, social interest, financial interest, and decision-making style, and how the scales are clubbed together. How the scales are clubbed together in the 4 scales. The next is, in case there's any difference in any subscales within a subscale, you must make a note of it. For example, look at this subscale. Now, in case you have the tradition thing with you, the flash report with you, you will see that tradition is only 25. Okay, but look at the lifestyle is 4 on 4. Okay, now this is an aberration. So though the person, it's not a driver scale, but as far as lifestyle is concerned, this person is very traditional. Okay, you must make a note of it, and I'll tell you why when you come to the face-to-face Hogan discussion. When we have the first connect, I'll tell you why. Look at commerce. Okay, commerce, the score for commerce is 64. It's a mid score or a slightly high score, mid score, I think. Okay, but the lifestyle in commerce is 1 out of 4, which means though this person is comfortable with money, wants to work with money, maybe unhappy not working with money, his personal finances are bolvachan. Anything can happen. He doesn't take care of it as much as he should, or as much as his profile. So he's saying that. But belief system is 4 on 4. Is it 4 on 4? One second. Yeah, belief system is 4 on 4. So he believes managing money is important, financial, etc., is important. Now, these are things that nobody will know about a leader. Even a person who's a working colleague will not know. But through Hogan, you know all this. And you must know it because when you have a face-to-face, it will create a certain awe in the leader to say, oh, how did you know this? How did you know I'm traditional personally, in my lifestyle and so on? So one is differences of subscale and key subscale explanation and conflicts. I make a lot of notes. So if you look at this particular page, it's a page from my book, from my hand. I make hand notes. I'm not very good with my memory. So I like to write it down. So I'll make a note and I will write everything that I want to say. Though it comes out of practice, but I don't want to fumble when I'm making a presentation about Hogan to the leader. So I make I make handwritten notes for everything. Okay. If some of you will ask me a question as to how much time it takes for me to finish a Hogan report, I'll answer that later. Okay. So I use the MVPI also. Okay. The MVPI scale book. That's my reference point from where I'll take data. And in case I want more information, I'll refer to Hogan Guide because everything is there also. Okay. This is one thing that I do, which is, if you look at this entire MVPI subscale, you will see that in the subscale, the 5 criteria of the subscale, there will be 4 out of 4 ticks. Now, wherever, if you go to lifestyle, look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The 10 scales are there. Look at lifestyle and see how many of them he has marked 4 on 4. Okay. Look at belief system and say how many of them has he marked 4 on 4. And so, or she has marked 4 on 4. Okay. And so on and so forth. So the intent is, if you have a 4 on 4 on many of them, it is showing something. For example, preferred associates. This person is a gentleman. Now, preferred associates power is 4 on 4. Hedonism is 4 on 4. Altruism is 4 on 4. Commerce is 4 on 4. And science is 4 on 4. So on 5 particular things, it's 4 on 4. Now, if you look at these 5 criteria, you will know the kind of associates or friends or people that this person would like to be with. If you look at lifestyle, you'll know what kind of a lifestyle this person has. Okay. For example, aesthetics for this person is only 3 on 4. But if there is a 4 on aesthetics and a low on aesthetics as a scale, but 4 on lifestyle aesthetics, then you can be sure that this person's house or the way the person carries himself or herself will be slightly stylish. It will be slightly, with a certain, there'll be a certain mark about it. And if you tell somebody that, okay, your house must be all done up, do you have a lot of artifacts at home? So then there will be a certain, what happened? Like that. So all I'm saying is that this particular scale, all these scales and a tick mark of 4 on 4 will give you a peek on the person, and a picture starts emerging about the person. Okay, let's go ahead. So these are all the things that you'll do when you're preparing the MVPI report. And this particular report here, this MVPI below here, this will be about 3 or 4 pages, by recognition like this. So there'll be 1 paragraph each, and that is what I will use to present. Yes, Amlesh.
There is a related question which is there from Rani, that when you are holding a conversation, will it be possible for you to take one example of one subscale and link it to an issue that you may be discussing with that particular coachee? Rani, am I okay in presenting it this way?
Of course. Yeah. So, yes.
Yeah,
Thank
Rani,
you,
I'm sorry, Rani, I couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
Rani, please go ahead.
Yeah, I will. Thank you, Arvind. So, Arvind, whilst what you said is very, very interesting, and when you're discussing with a leader on a particular issue that may be a concern or that has come up or for which you're engaged, how do you bring out these nuances, linking it and to the issue that really you may be working with?
So you take the relevant scale and link it. For example, I'll do one thing, Rani. Yeah. When we come to the coach leader connect, there's an example I'll give you. I'll share that example with you as to how I'm linking it and how it almost becomes like a conversation starter.
Oh, thank you so much.
It will become like a conversation starter.
That's what I'm looking forward to. Thank you.
So this is preparation, Rani. We are still at preparation.
Yeah.
We'll go from preparation to actual, face to face a little later. Some of them will be common, but we'll come to that. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're done with MVPI now. Let's move on to HPI. Since we've finished, we know what the person is like. We have a certain idea as to what the person does, why he does what he does, and so on and so forth. So tips on the HPI, bright side, and the reputation report. Okay. So first of all, understanding as to that this is the best surrogate for identity, write it down. Sometimes we forget in our hurry. I forget, that this is the best surrogate for identity. Explain what works and what doesn't with each scale. So for each scale, there's nothing good, nothing bad. It is contextual and so on and so forth, but it must be written down properly. Okay. Focus on adjustment completely. Adjustment is a very key scale here. I make copious notes on adjustment in case it's a high or a low. And I go the first 5 scales, I go subscale wise to understand them. Now, if you look at my handwritten notes on each subscale, I know exactly, I should know, like an expert on Hogan, I should know if a person says, okay, what is the meaning of good attachment? I must know it. This is good attachment. Now, my mind doesn't, I forget. So I write it down. In case you have a similar thing, it's better to write it down. So everything is written down in the first 5 scales, subscale wise. In the 6th and the 7th scale, you don't have to, because you have to look at the scale wise. There is no subscale definition really in the 5th and in the 6th and the 7th. So for inquisitive and learning approach, you don't have to go subscale wise. But these 5, very, very important. And you can link it also. And I'll show you, Rani, to your question, we'll come to that a little later. Cool. So integrate wherever possible. Now we have done already MVPI. The coach has already prepared for MVPI. So wherever MVPI there's a bulb coming up, link it. Okay. Now look at this linkage here. Altruism and affiliation is high. However, sociability and interpersonal sensitivity is low. So the face of this person actually in reputation wise may not be consistent with what he deeply wants. So it becomes like a question mark. So in a coach's mind, I will make a note key, ask this. Is there an issue? Are you as friendly as you are otherwise, or are you all helpful as you are otherwise in the office place? And something may tumble out. Okay. Combination of parameters. I'll take you through a demo. Now we are only in HPI. We're not in the Excel sheet that I sent to you. We are still in HPI, and HPI has 7 parameters. And for every high and every low, there's a combination available that Hogan gives. Okay. So we look at the combination. So there are some combinations, high ambition and low sociability. What does it mean? Quiet and reserved, but intense and driven to succeed. My God, my own handwriting, I can't read. Will lead by example because action speaks louder than words. So you write down everything. Now, if you write down all the combinations, it'll start telling you what kind of a person this person is in office. How does the person appear in office? Okay. What is the bright side of this person in office? Okay. So these are all about HPI, all the things that I do at HPI. In case I get confused or something, then I'll go to the cheat sheet and look at the cheat sheet. The original cheat sheet has a lot of material. The cheat sheets after that, they have kind of, taken off some of the gems that they had written originally. Or maybe it's no more valid, but I find it very interesting. So look at all the material so that you're completely prepared. Cool. Since there is no hand with Amlesh ji, I will move ahead.
Yeah, no, there is nothing as of now. Yeah.
Okay, so now we will move to the HPI combinations. And before going there, let me recognize. Sorry. What is that? Okay, HPI combinations, and let me now, challenge myself by stopping the share and moving to something else. Okay, you can see this. One sec. You can see the diagram now.
We can.
One sec. Let me try. Has it come full screen now?
Full screen.
Very good. How many of you have seen this PPT given by Hogan? Okay. Out of 37 people, is anybody familiar with this PPT? This is Hogan material, not invented by Arvind Lokare. Okay, let me demonstrate it. And in case you don't have it, I can circulate it. It's given by Hogan. Now, this is a beautiful PPT which helps you put the 2 steps. two scale lookup combinations. Okay. If you look up any scale, in case there are some highs and lows, it only does for high and low. So let's look at this particular case in point. No, this person is high in ambition. So we'll say high ambition. And then this person is also low on sociability. So we'll put low sociability. If you put these two and put a return, this is what comes. Ta-da! You don't have to do anything. It just comes. Just write it down. Okay. In case you don't have this, you can refer to the book. And in the Hogan book, there are these pages which give you high and low. 128, 29. You can look at the pages. They give the same thing. But this is easier because coaches don't have too much time. So this is a very, very good reference.
So
Okay.
Arvind, Sandeep
Yeah.
has asked you to show it again. Sandeep, what do you want to see again? The demo of the two
Demo.
scores?
Yeah, what he did.
Okay, okay.
What
So
he- yeah,
I'll
okay.
go back, Sandeep. Now you pick anything, any two scores, Sandeep. You pick it. Two high, one high and one low, or two lows or two highs, whatever.
Ambition high, interpersonal low.
Ambition high, interpersonal low. This is what comes. Can you read it for me?
Yes, hardworking, competitive, and
Ah.
achievement-oriented, combined with a blunt and challenging interpersonal style. Very helpful.
Yep. So like that, you can go through anything, any combination. It works only for high and low. It doesn't work for any mediums because mediums are okay. Mediums are neither here nor there. Cool? Is
Yeah.
it okay? So this is where I get my material from for the combinations within HPI.
Okay, can we try one more, Arvind?
Sure. Shetel,
Okay,
why don't
so
you say that?
yeah, so ambition high and leisurely high.
This is HPI, madam.
Oh, this is only
Krishima,
HPI.
this is only, but that is the masterpiece Taj Mahal, which I will, I will reveal later.
Okay, then
Which-
we'll do
which
that
you-
later.
Which you can't do otherwise. You don't have a combination of the two, yeah. I mean, that will become a Hogan session. But so
Sorry,
this-
I just Arvind just wanted
Yeah,
to add one thing.
Yeah.
4-5 months back I did certification.
Yeah.
So now this thing is also available in Google Store. They told so. Pick it. So anyone wants to, they can put the app on the phone. It's called Pick to HPI. No, sorry,
So-
I just thought I'll just.
Oh, very good. Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you very much.
Can you put this in the chat box?
Yeah, put it in the
Sandeep?
chat box
Yes.
so everybody can.
Yeah, so
benefit.
we'll pick it up from there right away. Thanks.
Cool. So Tushima doesn't want it now because anybody else who wants to try, shall we move ahead now? Okay, we'll move ahead.
Let's move.
So
Let's
this
move.
is one material that you have. So we were at coach preparation and we have done the combination of HPIs, correct?
Yes.
We finished this.
Yes.
Next, we have finished MVPI, we finished HPI. We will now move to HDS. Cool. 1 minute. For HDS, first of all, what is the report all about and what is it all about clusters? What is the meaning of clusters? What is the report? Why does it come? And so on and so forth. I make some notes. What is the basic response? Why does HPN finally come? Okay. What are the 3 kinds of responses that are there? And what does each response try to do? Of the 10 subscales, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 subscales, how are the subscales divided in those 3 clusters? Okay. So I make some notes about that. Okay. Now high and low notes, in case HDS is high, some subscale and some scale is low, I will make some notes. So why leisurely is high? In the leisurely high. Now in this particular thing, I will seek support from the book, the HDS book that I have, and from the HDS cheat sheet and the HDS long form notes. From these 3 resources, I will come up with something on leisurely and I will make notes for everything, for all the highs and all the lows. I'm sure Hogan is first was used to say only highs are important. Now we realize that even lows are important. So the highs and lows both are important. Okay, so we make notes on that. So what about individual subscale elevations? I look at all the subscales and see, in case within a scale, there is one subscale which is more and one subscale which is less. It's important for the person to know what this means, and I make a mention or I make marks on the flash reports to say, okay, these are the ones that I need to point out. Because what will happen is that when the person starts practicing change, something like this may crop up. And it'll be very good for you to reflect back to say, see, it's there as part of your HDS. You know, under stress, you might like to do, you may not be diligent, but you will be organized. You will suddenly become organized, even though you are low prudence. You know, you'll suddenly become organized. So only the organized way will be there. It may not be perfectionist, and you will stick to some standards. So that kind of an input to give to the leader is very, very beneficial. We are at 7:12. Okay, cool. Shall I go ahead? So these are, so now we are done with HDS. So we have a good fat response to everything. We have done MVPI, we have done HPI, and we have HDS. We have handwritten, I have handwritten notes for everything. So this whole compendium is about 6-7 pages handwritten. So I know what I will be talking about. Okay. Now, next, we have to move to competency domain. Now that we have done all the 3 reports, we have to see how Hogan links the 3 reports to the competency domain. And we'll come to the competency domain linkages and the wheel. We'll come to the wheel. Okay. First of all, explanation of the competency domains. These are the 4 competency domains. All of you are familiar with it. You know, it's always good to say leadership domain means building teams, delegation, and managing performance. Business domain means business acumen, strategic vision, and decision making. These are very well understood. If you go to a corporate and you try and say importance for value data and creativity, rather than this, I mean, this is more understandable quickly. Okay, so pick this up and you may like to note it. Okay, this is the wheel, and Hogan has taken all these domains, these business domains, these competency domains, and set up all the scales. Now, how many scales do we have totally? We have 5 here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we're 28 scales. So the 28 scales have been spread across the 4 domains. So now what we know what it takes for the leader to be successful. We now know that Hogan has a linkage to some scales to a certain domain. Now, they would have done some statistical research, and the R square for these 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to leadership domain is the highest. So they've taken these 5. Not that the others don't matter, but these 5 significantly affect leadership domain. Okay, how significantly they affect, we will see. Are we all clear on so far? Okay, this is Hogan actually. Okay, then this is what it is all about, right? So competitiveness, aggressive, all this comes if you have something of these 5 scales. Now, should the ambition be high, low, medium? I don't know so far. Should the caution be high, low, medium? I don't know so far. I will look at Hogan and find out, okay, these 5 are linked to leadership, but should they be high? Should they be low? Should they be medium? What should they be? Okay, for that, I go to the Hogan diary and I go to that page and I look at the description that Hogan gives me of that, of the domain description and the business domain. Now, it gives very, very succinctly what each one of them has to be. So, for example, for business domain, it has to be moderate to high inquisitive learning approach and imaginative. It has to be moderate leisurely. It has to be moderate to high science and aesthetics. So I know exactly what they are talking about. For leadership domain, it is high ambition, low caution, high power, high commerce, and so on and so forth. So just to summarize, I know the competency. I know the Hogan linkages to the competency. I also know how much the scale should be. Should it be less? Should it be more? Should it be average? What should it be? Now, isn't it beautiful if all this can then magically come together and tell me whether this person is good in business domain, not good, or what are the opportunities? So for that, you make a spreadsheet, and you have all the business domains here. These are, don't call it parameters, but I'm sorry, I wrote parameter. It should be scale. Okay, aesthetic, science, inquisitive, learning approach, imaginative, skeptical, and leisurely. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are related to it. Okay, like that for leadership, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for interpersonal, so on, and like that. Okay, now we know the business domain, we know what they are doing, and now this is the suggested thing you have taken from the last page. The last thing that I showed you, we have taken it. Okay, don't look so serious. This is all done for you. Okay, you don't have to do anything. I will present to you everything. You can have this file and you can play around with it. Now, won't it be magical if we have the actual thing? And that is what we'll try and do now. Okay, so we'll do a demo. But before doing my demo, let me recognize a great friend of mine called Ashok Kar, who has helped me do this. Ashok is a researcher, and he also helped us with the first edition of the coaching journal. The entire, whatever was made, how it was assessed, and whatever research I do, I always, ping Ashok Kar for this. So I just wanted to recognize him. Okay, cool. Now, oops. So now let us go and try technology again. Can everybody see it? The leadership grid?
Yes.
Great. Amlesh, no questions so far?
No, nothing as yet.
My God, I must have just zonked everybody. So much data. Kaise karenge? Okay, now, this is a sensitive slide, a sensitive worksheet. So please don't do any gudbad anywhere, except where I've said do it. So these are the places where you have to fill in. It says enter here. Okay, you just have to enter the scores. Just have to enter the scores. Okay, now I have not entered the scores for MVPI, just for demonstration. So I will demonstrate it. Somebody will read it out to me and I will put it out. Okay, so because nothing has been put here, everything is showing as low because it's 0. Okay, now I have used the following mechanism for high, medium, and low: 65 to 100, 36 to 46, 64, 0 to 35. Now, in case you want to tinker with it, your call. Hogan says you have to be this, you have to be that, whatever you want to do. HDS also, look at high, moderate, low, no risk. Now, even in Hogan, sometimes they say high, moderate, low. Sometimes they put the no risk. Sometimes they, the various forms that you go on, the nomenclature will change. So you pick what you want to pick, because everything is based on this particular thing. I put a summary instruction here also for if somebody is doing it, and you can call me or you can just read here. It's fairly self-explanatory. Okay, so this is the spreadsheet. This is the first worksheet called inventory and scales. Okay, you go to inventory and scales, and let us try and enter recognition. Okay, can somebody actually help me with recognition with the MVPI scales? I'll input it.
78.
78. See how it magically changes to high recognition here. Okay, then
94.
94.
Power.
Yes.
Then 92.
92.
100.
100.
94.
94.
25.
25.
20.
20.
64.
64.
18.
64. 18.
18. 18. 97.
97.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got this now. And what happens is that this is linked to the competency domain worksheet, which is this. Okay. Now I have colored everything else from here. This I have not covered, and I'll cover it. I'll color it with you to demonstrate it. So earlier, everything was low, 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 low. Now, let me see how to do it. So this is low aesthetics, and this is high and medium aesthetics. So according to me, there is a one-step difference. So I will color it amber. I'll give it an amber color. Okay. High, medium science, high science, I will give it a green color. Okay. Let me go down. High power, which color?
Green.
Green. Thank you. High commerce, mid commerce. What color? Amber.
Amber.
Amber. High, mid recognition and high recognition, I'll give an amber. Mid altruism, high altruism, I'll give an amber.
Amber.
High to mid affiliation and high affiliation, I'll give
Green.
a green. Mid tradition, low tradition, I will give an amber. A mid hedonism, high hedonism, I will give an amber.
Amber.
Low security, I'll give a
Green.
green. Here, voila, our combination for the entire Hogan competency scale is done. Okay, now, if you visually look at the domain scale, and if I have to look and comment and make an impression of this person, what do you think this leader is in the business domain? Is he a high? Is he a medium? Is he a low? Based on the color codes.
Could be medium.
Medium?
Medium.
Okay. Okay. So, I'm kind to the leader. Wherever I get a little opportunity to show him as high, I will say high. So in this case, my thing is high medium. I will say medium high, because there are 4 highs, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4 greens and 3 ambers. So I will give it a medium to high. Look at the next one.
Arvind, I have a question on the business domain. So here my question is not so much about, okay, you have 4 greens and 3 ambers.
Yeah.
But rather, if the individual is in an organization, where some of the scales are regarded more highly than others. And if the person is green on those scales, then could we say that business domain will overall be high?
Yeah, you can say that. And Tushima, let's do one thing. We will handle it in the next slide.
Okay.
When we are demonstrating it on one a table, we can look at that exactly. Okay, we can look at that. Yeah, Amlesh.
Yeah, so there is this question from Sanjeev. Why low security and low security is not red?
Oh, it is matching. Okay, low security also means a person. You can give a person different roles in an organization. He is not stuck up. If you have a high security, he'll almost be like furniture. Yeah, he will never leave. If he doesn't grow, there's a problem. Low security has a lot of pluses also. See, everything has a plus and an opportunity. So, according to Hogan, this is a plus thing. Takes prudent career risks. According to Hogan, is a positive thing for an interpersonal domain. Do you want a leader to take risks? Low security also means risk taking. High security means not risk, less risk taking or risk averse. Does that answer? Whoever
yes.
asked
Yes.
Yeah. Anything else? Any other question?
There is one more which has come. Full match is green, full mismatch is red, and slight mismatch is amber. This is a comment.
Perfectly. Perfect. Thank you.
Not a question,
Yeah, thank you. You put it better than I tried.
Yeah, Anu Sukhija has put this comment.
Thank you, Anu. Thank you, Anu. Done?
Yes, done.
Done. Okay. So now, if you look at the next summary page, This is the summary. Now you'll ask me, where have I got these words from? These words are from here, the competency domain. Pick these words and be kind to the leader. Be kind to the leader. We are in a developmental business, so we have to be kind. Whatever it takes for that person to actually change, to feel good about self. I felt great, when Tushima says, "What a wonderful shirt you're wearing." Simple thing, yeah. Just get out of this critical thing. Arey, ye to waisa bata raha hai. It's that this is what is coming out. No. Please be as kind to the leader as possible. Okay. Pick up the things and put it in the summary as you can. So wherever it is as a strengths. Now, when I was making this this slide, I was really troubled to look at what should the middle one be. What should I call it? I wouldn't know. Then I finally found out a word called appropriate. Okay. Now, saying mid or saying okay or reasonable, I don't know. I'm still looking for a better word which communicates that yes, this skill are there. We are talking to leaders who are successful, who are successful and reached a stage that they can afford us as coaches. So they have done something good in life. So whatever is there is good. So we have to present it in that manner. So strengths, how does the strengths come? Is there a confusion? Wherever high science is there, high science is there. High science is here also. See, high science. So importance of value and creativity. So there you will put importance of value and creativity. Mid inquisitive comes to here. Openness to ideas, creativity, and willingness. The trouble happens if some of them are high, some of them are low, etc. So what would you write? You pick and choose, take a judgment and write what you have to write. Okay, like that. Is this summary clear? Tushima, does it answer your question? In case you have an organization where some of these are more important, Tushima,
yeah,
please color code them differently. You can color code them differently.
Yeah. So in the business domain especially, some of those things, like if you could go back to that sheet.
Sure.
Yeah. So if you have an organization where science, learning approach, and being inquisitive are very highly rated.
Yep.
So then these are some things which are considered more critical to the organization, then we could color code them differently.
Yeah. So my suggestion would be put a cloud here and put these three things there. Put a cloud on strength and put those three things. So supposing a person is, let's say, high on inquisitive, and it's a good thing because here it's mid inquisitive, and high on learning approach, and is probably low on imaginative, and these three go together. So you can put these through in a cloud and put it in the strength thing as a cloud. And so see, point is that we have to communicate to the person this is there. Now how this sheet will be used, oh, it's already 7:30. How this sheet will be used, we can we'll see a little later. So is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, can I quickly also do syndrome configuration? Okay, because it's on the same thing. I'll note. I don't have to go up and down again. Okay, so can are some of you aware of the syndromes? There are 9 syndromes that are there, which Hogan has given. Okay, they are given in. Let me cover this through the thing. So syndrome thing also I have already done for you. So when you get this worksheet, the syndrome also comes. Now this is not for sharing. This is for you. This you can share. This you can share with the leader. But this, please don't share. This is for you because it talks about some really obnoxious syndromes, which the leader may not be. I mean, it is not nice to know that I am not intimidating. I mean, you don't have to say it also in the first place. So this is for your information. Let's also color code it quickly. I will do it. This is green. This is green. Mid commerce is green. Low aesthetics is, my God, red. High affiliation is red. Is green. Low security is red. Low security is green. High power is red.
Red.
Okay. So if I look at this, if I look at the entire thing, and let me just reduce it a little because I can't see it. Tashima, how do I remove all the faces here? Is there some way? Okay,
All the?
Oh yeah, they are gone now. I had a picture of everybody there.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so if you look at this, look at the leading, it's got all greens. Look at competing, it's got all greens. Look at managing, it's got 2 greens and 2 amber. Look at creating, it's got 1 red, 2 green, 3 greens and 1 amber. Now, as you go down, you will find that this person is most likely to be leading, competing, a little managing, maybe mid on creating. He's definitely not intimidating. He's not ingratiating. He is not resisting. He may be average on risk taking. He is definitely not an empty suit. Okay, so you get an idea of the person. You get a certain idea of what the person will be like. Is it okay? Cool. Okay, have you understood this spreadsheet? I'll explain this concept when we get to the website, when we get to the PPT. This is also given by Hogan. I'll share with you when. Okay. Okay, so we've seen this and we are comfortable with this. We've seen this also, and you can also make a mark of what is great and what is not so great and where he can focus on. Actually, if you look at this slide, the IDP action steps clearly emerge, provided the leader is comfortable with it. Okay. Now, moving to syndrome configuration. Now, on this page of Hogan, there is something called syndromes. Okay. It talks about what combinations of scales can mean. Some other scales can mean leading, some other scales can mean competing, and so on and so forth. One of the biggest things is ambition. If ambition is not high, and a lot of scales, that person becomes low. Okay. And it gives you exactly the way we have done for configurations of for the competencies. The same configurations are given here also, and I've already demonstrated to you that the Excel sheet will also give you this. Okay, so it'll appear something like this. It'll appear something like this.
Here also the suggested way forward emerges. This one.
It's for us, for the coach. You know, talk about it, don't talk about it, or mention that, you know, what type of a person this leader could be. What would you be like, and so on and so forth. So if he's going to lead a visioning exercise, a leader like this, then you might probably say that, you know, the muscle is there, but you probably not used it as much. You've been focusing more on leading and competing and managing as per Hogan. What is your experience? And then start a conversation. Yeah.
So here, Arvind, if you look at creating, high aesthetics, low aesthetics, so this would be red, right?
Oh, yes, it's red. Sorry. Thank you, Tushima, for pointing it out. It is red.
Okay.
It's red. Of course, it's red.
Okay, great. So in this kind of a scenario.
Oh, I've made a mistake in this. For this, if it is a match, it's a green. If it's not a match, whether 1 step or 2 step, it's an amber. So I get clarity on this whole thing. Otherwise, 3 colors now for something that I'm not sharing with them becomes too much to handle.
Okay. So here you have only 2 colors, green
I
and
have
amber.
I mean, please suit yourself. Whatever color code you're comfortable with, you want to do, please do. Thank you for pointing that out.
Sure.
Yes, it's different for the 2. Yes.
So in a scenario where you have a mix of, let's say, 1 or 2 greens, for example, risk taking.
Yep.
Right? You have 2 greens and you have 3 ambers. So where you have a where you have a higher number of ambers than greens.
Yes.
Typically, then what is the approach that you take in the debrief?
Well, actually, let's come to the debrief, because see, in the debrief, it is not only this, it's also the 360 degree, it's also the leader, the leader feedback about the person. So you are aware of everything. And surprise, surprise, you might find the leader giving feedback to self in versus the 360 degree to say, I need to be more risk-taking.
Right.
If that's written there, then it's done. You don't have to even touch it. You just need to move on to, okay, so what can you do about it? Okay, cool. Amlesh ji, yes, nothing?
It's all good.
Okay,
No
ji,
questions.
chalo. Okay,
Thank
no
you.
questions on preparations. We are now ready. We are the experts. We are the masters of Hogan. We are now going to go and meet our leader. Okay, so where are we? We are here. We are now going to do a Hogan Connect. Okay, now some tips from my side on when you're connecting with the leader, what should you do or what should you not do? It's already 7:38, so we might just have no time for questions, and it's okay because we've been handling it. Okay, so first and foremost, check for current understanding. First and foremost, they have read the report, and normally I'll give them report on a Friday evening. So Saturday, Sunday, they have to go through. And then Monday morning, they are meeting, and they will probably not have a nice sleep on Saturday and Sunday. Because they can't, leaders at that level, they can't listen to anything which is not positive. Even if there is one thing, they'll say, oh, I don't agree with the report. Oh, this is not fair. I am not like this. They'll start off with everything. Okay. So please state that everything is directional. And I always tell people that, look, in my experience, if Hogan says north, it will never be south. It will be 70% north, 80% north, 50% north, but it will definitely be north. Okay. And in case there is some feedback in the 360 degree about the leaders thing, a lot of skeletons will then come out. So it's a fun thing, you know, at the end of this now, you know so much about the leader because you got 360 degree this and Hogan. Hogan is like a Janam Patri only. If you really focus on it, it will give you everything. So for some of them who have high learning approach and some of them who are very, very curious, they will want to know something about the Hogan summary, inventory. So tell them about how Hogan is, how it has been structured, what is reputation, what is identity, why do we do it, what are the attributes. Tell them that we are not doing cognitive, we are doing personality and motivation, and how it leads to competency and how it leads to job performance. Explain it to them. It will just build your credibility as far as the leader is concerned. Then always I refer to the inventory as a profile, not as the leader's profile. I'll always say profile. The profile indicates this. The profile indicates that. It kind of segregates the leader from the profile. And I always tell them, in case you agree, we will go with it. If you say, oh, I don't agree with this subscale, all the positive and good subscales, now they will say, this is me. Of course, this is me. And this subscale, oh, I'm not very sure. I'm not very sure. So I say, no problem. Whatever you agree with, it's okay. We'll go with it. Whatever you don't agree with, it's also okay. We don't have to become Durga, everything, all Sarva Navrani. Like Ganpati Bappa comes for 7 days. He has everything. Durga also comes for 7 days. She also has everything. All empowering. I said, we don't want to make you a leader like that. Everybody will have some issues. We only want to work on 2-3 issues. So it's okay. So don't have a problem. Okay. So that is important to set that thing. But I always say north is north. It will never be south. It's very, very rare that north has become south. And if you have the time, I'll share a small story about when north became south and of how I handled it. I was in a spot. Okay. MVPI. What are tips for MVPI? Start by explaining the 5 factors. We have done it. Look at the clusters. Sometimes the cluster changes are there. You will see sometimes in the cluster, they have a large proportion of a cluster in the first cluster. So let's say in this particular thing, the status ones are all up and social interest is all up. Financial interest is not so much and decision-making style is split in this current profile. Are you seeing it? Yeah. Did you see the in the flash report? If you see, there are some conflicts. Raise the conflicts up and talk about the conflict. Okay. Now, whenever you talk about all this and it builds a certain amount of trust. One sec. Okay. Then share with the leader your entire report that you have made for the leader. Okay. Read out everything one by one, go through it, pause after everything. I pause after every single scale. I pause and find out, what the leader feels about it and why they feel what they feel. What could be the reasons? And suddenly a lot of things start coming out. And this is, to my mind, the MVPI debrief is a time when the strongest bonds are built with the leader. The strongest trust bonds are built, because you get so intense and so close. Even if you're saying something and the leader is not agreeing with it, the leader knows that, the coach knows something that I don't know. Probably I know. I have one leader who after 3 months got back to say, I went home today and I told my wife that, I am this. So she turns around and says, I've been telling you this for 20 years. You have to pay a coach for that. Why do you have to pay a coach for that? You should ask me. Don't go for all this coaching. So incidents like this also happens. Really? I'm like that? I'm aggressive? Am I very demanding? Like that. So I also was like that. Till one colleague of mine says, Arvind, you're very aggressive. Do you know how aggressive you are? Oh, okay. Now my wife actually confirms. So go through the entire report, explain the differences within the MVPI. Very, very important. I've listed out these differences before. It builds. How did you know that? How do you know in my personal life I'm traditional? How do you know? Oh, I never wrote like that, and so on and so forth. How do you know that I can't manage my funds, or these are the kind of friends I will have? Something like that. So all this is a big trust building activity, the MVPI. Okay. And finally, the 4x4 factors to tell him, this is your life. This is likely to be your lifestyle. For me, if the belief system is 4 on 4 on most of them, this leader will be a tough leader. He may have a low security. He may move from one place to another. A leader with lesser 4 on 4s on belief system is better, because they will have less stress in an organization. They will integrate better. But if you come with a very strong belief system of all of them 4 on 4, then you want this also, you want this also, you want this also. This also should be there. Altruism should also be there. Affiliation should also be there. We are not traditional. I don't have P&L responsibility. Oh my God, they're very demanding, and they're almost critical of themselves as to what place am I in, why am I here, and so on and so forth. Cool. So this ends my tips on MVPI. Cool. I'll move to the HPI. Okay. First of all, tell leader to carry the flash report. He will have the report, and some leaders will say, oh, I have it on my phone. I have it here. I have it there. I tell them, please carry a flash report, because I will not share any data. If you want to make notes, you will have to make notes. So check for current understanding and reassure again. Okay. Explain for those who are high LA, explain the subscales and why how the big 5 personality is linked to Hogan. Just go through that a little bit in case people are interested. Otherwise not. Okay. Always a positive tone. High doesn't mean good and low doesn't mean bad. Everything has something positive. Everything has some opportunity area. Every score has some positive and some opportunity areas, and always a positive tone in that particular thing. And everything is contextual. Okay. So a high prudence for an auditor is good, but for a high prudence for a leader who's in a rapidly changing environment may not be that good. So a high prudence may mean different thing to different roles. Okay. Somebody said, and even in the Hogan it was mentioned, that a high learning approach for criminal lawyers always have a low learning approach. They learn at the last minute before they have to do drama in front of the judge. Before that, they will learn, and then they'll do all that theatrics in court whatever it is called, some quote something it's called. So, but they are low learning approach. Okay. So everything is contextual and so on and so, but positive tone. Focus on adjustment, its meaning and impact. I have gone through this before. Okay. And also state wherever you can. If there's a high adjustment leader sitting in front of you, tell him that you will be a tough nut to crack for me. Because you know everything, boss. That's what the Hogan is going to say. Is that the view that everybody has, or something like that? Make it a little humorous and to go along. Okay. Then go over the first 5 scales with detail. And I go through the first 5 scales. I go through all the subscales wherever they are required. It gives you a lot of great things. Now, the particular scale that I have put here is not the scale that I have shared with you. But look at the subscale here. No social anxiety. So there is social anxiety. So this person had a problem with, being in the open, talking, etc. And that came out in the 360 degree. So it became then a conversation starter for us. So my request is write down everything and go through it one by one wherever required. Okay. Combination with HPI and MVPI, I've already mentioned. I've gone through these combinations, and of course I've gone through this also. So, all right. Finally, at the end of HPI, please summarize for the leader. What will this profile look like? So this profile will look like a person who's initiated, who's got a lot of energy, who will come, who will be able to manage stresses in certain ways. Okay, may not be may not go for forums or be seen in the public. Will be a little inquisitive wherever required. Learning approach, he'll probably learn whenever the learning is there. Will be very, very good in terms of ambiguous situation. Will be able to go and handle tough situations very quickly. Will have no problems in ambiguity and so on and so forth. So put a frame across for the leader at the end that this is what the HPI ultimately looks like. Let's look at the last report now, the HDS. So, okay, one of the things I tell the leader is that a lot of you may say, I don't have this. And it is possible that over a period of time, a lot of us have bypasses that we build. I mean, we have a problem issue with something, with anger or conflict or something, and we create bypasses. We have allies, we create allies or something. So mention to them that you may have significant elevations, but you may also have created bypasses. So you don't believe today that that problem exists. Okay. Explain the clusters. Very, very important. This cluster is very, very important. If you look at the cluster currently, okay, look at this cluster. In this particular cluster, definitely the second cluster of moving against is more definite than moving away or moving with people. So explain the meaning of that cluster, okay, and go over it. Okay, of course, I've always pointed it out, 4-on-4 and 1-on-1, explain that. Okay, any questions on HDS? Cool, nothing. Let me move to the last bit. So we have finished preparation. We have finished the coaching session. Now we have a client to deal. The client will say, how is it going? What happened? You did this, you did that. So there are two kind of, two interactions you might probably have with the client. One interaction may be in the beginning or at the end of first or second, the Hogan, two Hogan things are over then. And one at the end when everything is over. Let me just demonstrate what I do in these cases. Okay. So using Hogan during initial client connect, whenever you meet the client initially and are explaining how is it going, you'll say, how is the coaching initiative going? Explain the competency domains, explain this, explain all this, and then share this. Okay. You remember we had said high, medium, low. For every leader, do it. And give them a snapshot. Organizations and leaders at that level are wanting to know how I'm placed as far as an organization is concerned. They want a helicopter view. They want a 10,000 feet view. How is my organization? And you need to be supportive. You need to say, look, this is the way the Hogan is saying. And I believe you are very well placed as an organization in terms of the business domain and the leadership domain. You're doing very, very well. I mean, there are opportunities interpersonal and intrapersonal, and we'll handle it as we go along in the coaching individually. You can also point out that these 5 seem to be, on a better path of development and growth than the rest of them. And I cannot comment on the rest of them till I have the sessions with them. I believe everybody requires a push, and once given the push, everybody will come up. So, but currently, based on Hogan understanding, this is what is coming. Follow this up with these kind of slides for each one of them. This will resonate with some of the leaders. Oh yes, he is not stepping out of the pressure. मैं तो कितनी बारी बोलता हूँ. I tell him so many times, come on. Yes, it's coming out here also. Or they may be a complete surprise. Are really? So then then you have to stick to your guns and say, no, this is what it's showing. Yes, Amlesh.
Yeah, so there is a question from Sandeep Kaul.
Yeah.
Does the leadership domain recommendations also get created in the Excel if the client is only using HPI and MVPI and not the HDS?
Tell the client to invest a little more, yeah, and do HDS. You cannot create it. You can, I mean, of course, you can create whatever you want to create because it will be half. It's like saying, sabji milega, lekin chidka nahi milega. Upar, there will be no tarka.
Sandeep ji, you have anything additional?
अरे उनको बोलो 3,000 रुपए एक्स्ट्रा खर्चा करने को, ले ले HDS, yeah, big deal. I mean, these guys get paid 1 crore, 1.5 crores. They can spend 3,000 rupees more on them. Okay.
Sandeep ji, it's okay.
पूछना तो जरूरी है ना. We should know that. So that's why I asked.
Okay. So you can. So what? One second. So what I was saying was that you should do this summary and then have individual sheets like these for every leader, so that you can have a reasonable discussion. Okay. Okay. Now, post the client, post the entire coaching process, I normally ask the leaders their responses. I mean, how do they feel? I ask at every connect, starting connect 4 or starting connect 2. Every connect I ask, how is it going, etc., etc. Can you summarize it for me for a minute? And I will summarize what I'm feeling, etc., what I'm going through, etc., etc. So I do all that, and I am encouraged by this report on peak coaching moments. I've circulated this report on the group. It's a report by the medical school coaching school in America. I forget the name. I think some medical school has a coaching side school, and they have done this research, and it actually highlights 5 peak coaching moments. Some may have actual change, some may have moments of insight, some may have moments of release and relief, some may have moments of mindfulness, and some people may have new perspectives from external models. These are the 5 things. Now, I ask these people, okay, what did you feel? What happened? Some of them will say, oh, I mean, I could just pour myself. I just poured everything that was there inside me to you. I have nobody to talk to. Or it was an insight. Or I'm actually now a better person. I can talk and so and so and so and so. I've never experienced not so much of mindfulness in this particular group, but new models, new perspectives. Even the IDP is a model for them. Some of them have not gone through an IDP process also. Some of them, I do a lot of small things with them on trust, etc. So all those small models come up with them. Okay. Based on this, I actually, in one of our webinars made by Jonathan Ritz, we talked about assessment of coaching. He talked about the 4 jobs that coaches actually do. Coach the person, consult the problem, mentor the experience, and counsel the fallout. These are the 4 things that we do. So I actually see what inputs I have got and what does it translate to. I mean, what have I done? Good, bad, ugly. Okay. And then I mention it, that this is what happened. And these are possibly the 3 things that we could do. Okay. And they may ask some XYZ question and you answer them. So In no case do I share anything about my conversations with the leaders. There is absolute absolute secrecy or confidentiality of my conversations. But whatever I am sharing with you, that I am sharing with the management, I share it with the coaches, with the leaders. There is nothing that I share to management that the coaches don't know. They have a right to fight everything, but this is what Hogan is saying, and this is what I'm going to show, and I do it. Okay, so this is one thing that I found useful. I want to develop this further and make it more objective and more usable. I'm still working on it. Okay, 2-3 summaries I'll share with you that you may find useful. One is you can have a leader summary which goes like this at the end of the coaching exercise, which says, how is the leader? What are the pluses? What are the opportunities? And what are the actual, actual benefits or feedback or learnings about the coaching process? So this is one report. Amlesh, I'll just finish the second one and then I'll come to you. And
Yes,
this is the
sure.
second kind of report that you could do, which is like this. Or you can make some of your own, whichever way you want to do it. So these are 2 reports that you can kind of make and give. Now, what happens in this is that there is no real sharing of what has happened. In case they ask you what happened, except you talk to that person, and we can have a discussion face to face. I will be present also, and you'll be present also. We can just have a chat. Yeah, Amlish.
Yeah, so Sanjeev Bhatia has asked, do you ask peak moment in every session?
No, not in every session. In every session, I take a feedback and I somehow get peak moments. I will get a peak moment. I mean, let me give an example. At the end of one conversation, the first connect, when I was supposed to share Hogan, this person just wouldn't stop. He had so much to talk about how he was suffering, how he was having this, that. And I said, okay. So let's talk. What's fresh on your mind? And we went on and on and on and on. 90 minutes. He was just talking about it. And I felt very connected and he felt very connected. And at the end of it, I asked him, I said, okay, so can we just debrief this session? How did it go? So he said, oh, I am feeling so light. I'm feeling as though all the cobwebs are over and I can now focus on work. I've never spoken like this or shared my feelings with somebody. So, Sanjeev, it can happen at the end of every session. I do a debrief of a minute where I also say what I'm feeling. I also say that, I did not feel as connected because I think I was preoccupied with this, or I felt you were preoccupied with this, or something like that. I will share openly the way we went through. Okay, at every session and definitely at the end of the session, because at that time, how will you self-manage once I leave? Once this engagement finishes, how will you self-manage? And so how do we go about it? Anything else, Amlesh? No?
No, not
okay.
now.
Okay, so now I'll leave you with one more slide. Okay, ye ho gaya. Okay. One of the things I have seen is that managers don't have a clue. Okay, sorry. Some managers don't have a clue how to motivate their direct reports. Okay. Leaders always say, ki mujhe to pata hi nahi. I don't know how he feels about me or she feels about me. So from the MVPI, what really motivates the leader is a good input for the manager as to how to manage the leader. So I normally give a small summary of what a manager can do with the leader to actually motivate him. Give him assignments which, are an opportunity to lead or lead teams. He's not as involved in profits or P&L. Please give him something. A current role may not have it, but please give it to him that motivates him, and so on and so forth. Like that, you can go over with everything and give a small help to the manager to say, please, if you do these things, you may not need a coach. Actually, your guy may be happy enough. So this is one more thing that I do. Okay, questions now. We are up 4 minutes.
Yeah, so the floor is open for everyone.
Yes.
just unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah, please. If there's something that you would like to ask or something that you would like to say, please do unmute yourselves. The floor is open.
Hi, Arvind.
Arvind,
Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, this is Satyam. Arvind,
Yeah,
thank you so
Satyam.
much for this lovely session. Really,
Yeah.
really insightful.
yes. Sir.
Arvind, there was a slide where you talked about telling the top leader, how is the organization placed, on the high, mid, low, etc., and which are the top 4 or 5 leaders who are standing out well, right? So that was that slide. Now, before you do this, and going back to Tushima's conversation, is it important to really get the organization context in place, and or do we be very objective? Because what is good as per the competency domain may not be so good for that organization at that point in time, etc. So, when do we bring the organization context, if at all?
The coaching initiative doesn't start if I don't get an organization context and I don't get a clear understanding as to why you're doing it. So if I go to an FMCG company, or I can share, go to a pharmaceutical company, and it's a small organization but very profitable. I said, why are you doing it with me? You will have to spend 10-15 lakhs with 6-7 leaders, 8 leaders. I mean, if you put it in a discount scheme, won't you increase? Because that person said, oh, I will increase my share, I'll increase this. I said, discount kar do na. Stock up kar do. Matlab, why are you doing this? What is the intent? Because for a coach, for me, I need a complete clarity that they are wedded to the coaching process. They are wedded to what is the context, why are they doing it. That will help me, link it. If I don't understand the context, I will not be able to link it. A lot of places now, if you show them the competency list, they will say, हाँ, ये भी चाहिए. This also we want. This also we want. Oh, yes, of course. This also. Oh, this also. I said, sir, वो गणपति और दुर्गा 7 दिन के लिए आती है. उसके बाद दरिया में अंदर क्या चाहिए आपको लीडर? हमको लीडर चाहिए. 365 days -7 उन दिन चाहिए ना. So then for that, if you require a leader, he will not be able to work on this. You choose 1, 2, 3, then we'll work. So that context has to be set for them, because I mean, some of them say we are paying so much, we must get a report. I said, sir, I don't have the authority of you. I don't get paid as much as you. If you have not been able to do it, you think a 1 lakh, hiring a 1 lakh coach will transform your guy? It will not happen. Na? It's a process. I will try my best. You also have to try your best. See, my point is that over a year period, I become a little, what do I say? I'm in the face in case somebody is in the face. So I do business with people I like to do business with. Otherwise, I don't do business. And if they are done, I will do 8 sessions, 9 sessions, 10 sessions free of cost. I have no problem. Because how can I refuse a leader here who I know so much about and he knows so much about? If he calls me in the middle of the afternoon or night to say, Arvind, ye problem ho gaya, kya karna chahiye? I will, of course, bend backwards and help him. There are so many leaders who have come and asked me for help otherwise. I mean, miscellaneous things. So that bond is so precious that once the initial 2-3 sessions happen, then you are there's so much trust that, I mean, at least I can't say no. Cool. Any other question?
Arvind, this Sanjeev here. How much time it takes to debrief the entire report generally, by and large?
Good question, Sanjeev. Thank you very much. See, you have to pick and choose how much you want to give. You have to pick and choose. For me, if I do a complete thing, it takes 1 full session of 2 hours or 1.5 sessions, 3 hours completely. Because the longer it takes, the happier I am. Because then the person is sharing a lot. The person is sharing a lot. The more the person shares, the easier the coaching will become. The coaching will be a breeze in case the longer it goes. So you can pick. It can be a half an hour briefing. You know how briefings happen. No? Oh, some of the tick mark briefings are there na, आधे घंटे का briefing करो. तो ठीक है यार.
No, I think personal, my experience has been to really the longer 2 to 3 hours is minimum actually. Sometimes maybe more also. And you say, okay, I'm getting late. Okay, we can catch up again for the balance. It happens. I'm asking. That's the reason I'm asking. How much are you taking? Because you are more seasoned than me. So that's the reason.
Yeah. What happens is that the person can ask you anything, even if it's a half an hour briefing or a 1 hour briefing. That is why our preparation has to be top notch. Because he can ask, the leader is at free will to ask anything from anywhere. Oh, that report this, why have they written this? Oh, that report this, how is that connected to this? But this and this is contradictory. Like that, they will ask anything. So we have to be prepared. And depending on the commercials, etc. See, I tell the people, please spend money on your leaders. If you want to do it, do a good job. Otherwise, don't. कोई फायदा नहीं है. Tick mark नहीं है. I don't do tick mark things. Okay.
Yeah, as a coach, tick mark doesn't work even with whatever.
I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it.
It's more than the payment. It's the fun which you get, the satisfaction as a coach.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else? Anybody?
So before we take the next set of questions and comments, since we have passed the hour with everyone's permission, I'm going to thank Arvind and then close the recording, and then we can have we can continue to have an open discussion with whoever wants to stay back. But I want to take this opportunity to thank Arvind so much. This is a very apt time to have this session. For those of you who did not know, Arvind and I had this conversation about this session, I think just about a week back. And he has turned this session around and has come ready with it in just a matter of days. This is just spectacular generosity, and well, it's a season to be generous and the season to be thankful, and we are in so much gratitude. Arvind, thank you so much. What you have shared is absolutely a wealth of insight straight from your experience, and you have given away a lot in the session. My very, very sincere thanks to you. Thanks to everyone who joined and made time to join and stay for so long at such short notice. We normally give far more notice for our sessions, but I think this topic has been of so much interest that we had these many people joining for our session. Thanks very much. On that note, I'm stopping the recording.
Yes, please.
See you all next year. We have our next session on Jan 18th. Have a great rest of the year ahead. Wish you a very happy new year.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks so much, Sushima, for pushing. I didn't realize the opportunity I would have missed out if I had not taken on what you said. Thank you so much.
Thank you.